Hey everybody, it's Father Jonathan at All Saints Episcopal Church, and Mother Cynthia is here too. She's the one holding the camera.
Woohoo!
Say hi to Mother Cynthia. We're coming back to Sunday, October 8th, at the 10:30 service. You are welcome to join us. We'd like you to carefully consider whether coming back to a public worship is appropriate, but if it's right for you, we'd like you to know how we're going to do that, how we're going to move and be together in church. The first thing you notice is that I've got my face mask with me, so I'm going to talk to you through my face mask, because that's what we do when we come to church at All Saints.
All right.
The face mask is on. If you don't have a face mask, we've got a station here that you can come to, and we have face masks for you. We ask everyone to sanitizer, and we're going to sanitize up. Very good, very nice. Hold on, let that be on your hands for a good long time. I've got my iPad with me. You can bring your tablet or your phone with you as you come to church, because we're not handing
Or your Book of Common Prayer.
We don't have books of common prayer, and we don't have bulletins. So if you want to follow along in the service, you can use your phone and your tablet. But don't worry, if you don't bring anything, you're going to be just fine. You're going to come into church and see the door already open. You'll be greeted by a greeter, and you'll be guided into church. And you'll come in and you'll see another station here to sanitize your hands, and then you'll be asked to come upstairs. The only entry is through these glass doors. We'd like you to come in and enter through these glass doors and come right up into church. Now, Cynthia is going to guide us up into church.
But we're going to start off right this time, so hang on. Okay, let me get a couple of steps ahead.
So as we go, I'd like to say a little bit about what happens next. You'll come upstairs and we'll be greeted at the narthex. In the narthex, you'll find some ushers, and they'll tell you where to go. Just walking into church like we used to do. We're being guided into church because we have to make sure we seat in the right place. So the ushers will guide you into church, and they'll have you seated so that you are appropriately distant from everybody.
Your head dropped out. There we are.
So you'll be guided into church, and you'll be appropriately distant. Here's our narthex. And by the way, narthex is a fancy word that means church lobby or lobby. We gather here, you'll be greeted by an usher, and then we'll be shown where to go. We're entering through the side doors, the aisles, not the main door, but the aisles. The reason why is we have a camera in that center aisle, because our liturgy includes people who are here and here where you are, here in this place and here on the computer. We have cameras here to help them connect. So we'd like to have those cameras set up. We don't want anybody to trip over them. So stay out of the center aisle until it's communion time. Let's go to church. The usher will guide you into church.
I can't sit wherever I want?
And you'll be seated in a pew that is appropriately spaced. The pews that are open are open. The pews that we'd like you not to sit in have tabs across them. The usher will seat you here, and you can have a seat with your family. Families can sit together, but if you're not sitting with if you're not with a family member, we'd like you to stay 6 feet apart on the pew. So I can sit with my family here, but right about here, you're going to want to be spaced further away. If you have a big family, you can have the whole pew. However you want to be situated, please stay 6 feet away from people that are not in your family unit. That's how we're saying that. Here I am in my church pew with my bulletin on my tablet, which is using my Book of Common Prayer app so I can follow along. And now it's communion time. When we get to communion, you'll be invited to come up, and the way to get to communion is to the center aisle. To communion by the center aisle. No matter where you are in church, you'll come down the center aisle, and you'll be keeping distance, 6 feet distance from anybody that's with you. And you'll come to communion, and the priest will meet you right here. You'll extend your hand, and communion in bread only will be dropped in your hand. And then you can gently lift your mask or lower your mask and receive. And then you'll return to communion through the side aisle. The side aisle is also where you'll be ushered out of church. We ask that everyone remains seated in their pew during the postlude, the music after church. And then the usher will guide us out, each row at a time, to avoid some clustering of bodies. So the usher is guiding me out of church now. And we're asking everyone to exit the church through the narthex, but don't stick around and talk. I'm sorry about that.
Why not?
We like to be able to talk in the narthex at church, but to keep social distance, we're encouraging folks to keep moving. We'll go downstairs, these big, beautiful steps that exit out the big red doors and go into the church. If you would like to visit with somebody after church, you can do so in a socially distant way, outside and out front. And please don't clog up the bottom of the steps and make it hard for people to get out. Go into ways that under one of the trees if you'd like to visit with somebody. That way we can all have time to visit with some folks and say hello outside and we make our way into the day. So that's how we're going to church at All Saints. A lot has changed. It's an unusual time. Let's remember what stays the same. What stays the same is God's love. What stays the same is the love that we have for one for another. What stays the same is the way that we share that love in this community. And there's just no better community than this. I'm convinced. I'm crazy about this All Saints Parish. I can't wait to be gathered in this space with one another. I want to say, though, my deepest fear is that we might be gathered too quickly. So let's remember this. It is okay to love one another and recognize that this might not be the time for me to go back to church. It is still a loving thing for us to say we are in community, and for you or for me or for someone else, being at church might mean being at church through our Facebook stream at home, or through our YouTube stream while you're walking on the beach, or maybe even looking at our webpage while you are having a picnic with your family out in the park so far away from us. That is going to church as well. That's part of the loving community of All Saints as well. However you come to church this week, I'm excited and delighted to be worshiping God, celebrating Christ's love every single moment we can with one another. It's all about love, and love will show us the way here at All Saints. Take care. God bless.